Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, January 5th. So today we will see the moon in Libra go void of course at 6:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're locking into Scorpio energy at 7:40 a.m. So again, anytime that we're transitioning out of Libran energy into Scorpio energy, we move out of the light, fluffy vibe of our headspace, of our mental plane, to do a deep dive in our emotional realm, in our psyche. That Scorpio energy is shadow work. It does kind of unearth the darker parts in our mental plane, in our heart space, in order for us to see where it is that the blockages are, the obstacles are, where we're too fixated in old patterns, old behaviors, old narratives. So of course, the moon in Scorpio is never a favorable time amongst the collective because again, things get dark, things get weighted, things get deep. And a lot of people just don't enjoy that energy, aren't really bold, brave, and courageous enough to do the transformation needed in our inner realm, prepping us, preparing us for upgrades, for levels up, for the change, for the transformation that has to take place in our inner realm before we can start manifesting the elements in our outer realm. There are 7 different aspects today. All 7 of them involve the moon, which means that this is a moon day. This is an emotional refinement type of day. The moon in Scorpio is very deep, very probing, very observant. Our intuition peaks. We're tapping into the detective energy of the zodiac. We want to get to the bottom of the truth, bottom of the matter. We want to resolve, repair some of these issues that have been holding us back, keeping us from actually pursuing a new path, new vision, new dream. So there's definitely a lot more emotional intensity, a lot more probing, a lot more focus on the darker parts of our experiences so that we can resolve them, we can lighten them, we can essentially release them. So with that being said, we do have one aspect with the moon in Libra before going void of course, before shifting into the Scorpio energy, which happens to be a square creating tension and conflict with Pluto. Pluto is the great transformer. He's at these very, very late degrees of Capricorn energy, and we are definitely interacting with Pluto with each and every planet that's reaching these final degrees for this major change, major transformation to take place within us. Because the moon in Libra, again, really wants to stay in the light, fluffy end of our thoughts, of our emotions, this is definitely setting us up for the deep dive that we will be taking in Scorpio energy. There is an unbalanced energy that comes in because, again, Libra energy strives for peace, harmony, and balance, but Pluto disrupts that in order for us to realize the areas of our lives, narratives, emotions that are out of whack, that aren't creating peace, harmony, and balance within us, because those are the issues that we have to focus on. Those are the issues that we have to resolve. So it is at this particular point that the moon goes void, of course, where things get shaky, where things get very uncertain and unstable. We lock into Scorpio energy 7:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, we're going to have our first moon aspect with this Scorpio energy, and it's going to be a sextile, beautiful interaction with Mars. So Mars rules over the Scorpio energy, so this is very intense, even more so than if this was an interaction with any other planet. Mars just shifted into Capricorn energy here yesterday. If you haven't listened to that astro forecast, I'm going to recommend you do so. If you haven't listened to your January zodiac forecast, you should definitely check that out to figure out where all of these transits are taking place in your life, where they're going to kind of put the major focus on in your life for these particular, let's call them energy shifts, helping us to focus on what needs to be done. Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, we're having a hard time breaking out of this funk, let's call it. And again, Capricorn energy is always a funk. Why? Because we feel the weight of the world on our shoulders. That to-do list is so freaking long. We have to boss up. We have to clean up, tie up the loose ends before we can get started on something else. But believe me when I say that once we break out of this weight and we finally get the momentum kind of going, there is really no stopping us. Now, emotionally speaking, the moon interacting with Mars in this way, we are getting hell-bent damn well and determined to have our focus, our sight set on our new goals, on our new visions, on our new dreams. We are feeling a little bit more motivated, a little bit more determined than we have in the past, although it is a slow start in this Capricorn energy that Mars is now in. But nonetheless, we are tapping into a new mood, to a new attitude, where we really have to kind of buck up, if you will, in order for us to kind of leave this old situation, this old circumstance behind, and really, again, hone in our sights on what it is that we want to achieve, what we want to obtain, what we want to bring to life. The moon in Scorpio energy going to be making a positive interaction with Neptune. Neptune is in his place of power in Pisces energy. This is some water on water action that we love because it reminds us of the intuitive vision that we're currently piecing together. Again, January is about visualization. And so we have Neptune in Pisces energy. This is our spirituality. This is our imagination. This is creativity. And because we are hypersensitive and very in touch with our intuition when the moon is in Scorpio, there are going to be intuitive downloads that we are receiving that we're able to kind of articulate way quicker than some of the old ones that kind of had to percolate in order for us to realize what's going on here. We have an intuitive pull. We have new inspirations pulling us in a path, in a direction that is kind of deviating us off of the path and the plan that we thought we would be walking at this particular point in time. This is a spiritual renewal, if you will. We're renewing our faith, our confidence. We're reminding ourselves of what it is that we want to build towards, what it is that we want to create. The moon is then going to interact with the sun, who happens to be in Capricorn energy. We love this. Scorpio energy, Capricorn energy work so well together. The water, the emotion, the intuition, the inspiration, the creativity from Scorpio energy nourishes the earth, the land that Capricorn energy is. So there's growth, there's nurturing, there's nourishment. We're really watering, if you will, these new visions, these new goals, these new dreams. Anytime we have an interaction between the moon and the sun, there's a new level of awareness that is coming forth. There's a new aha moment, new realization, if you will, emotionally speaking. And then because we're kind of aware of this new spark, this new inspiration, this new change within us, that sun and Capricorn energy showing us how to express this emotion, express this thought, express this inspiration, this motivation, this passion, this desire. It's showing us how it is that we can bring these particular elements into form, into materialization. The moon is then going to trine Saturn. So Saturn's the lord of karma. He rules over roles, responsibilities, systems, structures, foundations, discipline, willpower. He's in Pisces energy. So again, we have some water on water action here. This is cleansing. This is refreshing. This is kind of renewing our soul and our spirit, but in a different way. We're getting a little bit logical, a little bit practical with what it is that we have to build as far as a routine, framework, structure, pattern goes in order for us to actually be able to achieve some of the things that we're actually setting out to achieve. Saturn, yes, brings a little bit more of a, I'm going to call it, logical, practical way of sorting through our thoughts, through our emotions, understanding what it is that we want to build towards and realizing where it is that we don't have some of the major foundational cornerstones in our lives right now to actually support that dream. And so this is a realization on where it is that we have to kind of focus on the blueprint, the plan, if you will, of what it is that we want to build towards. The moon is then going to directly oppose Jupiter. So Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. He is now direct in this Taurus energy. And of course, Scorpio energy, Taurus energy sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. And this is what gives us our opposition. Now, this could manifest in a couple of ways. So first, we're going to talk about the positive ways. An opposition always creates a little bit of tension, a little bit of conflict in order to push us into an action point, decision point, choice point, so to speak. And because Jupiter's involved, this is about the options that we have, the opportunities that we want to build, we want to create, we want to align with, I'm going to say possibilities for us to grow, for us to expand on the things that are working, on the things that we want to create more of. Now, the negative manifestation of this energy is that we're so overwhelmed because, again, Jupiter magnifies. We're so overwhelmed with the possibilities, with the options available to us right now that we find ourselves in a state of paralysis. We understand where it is that we're hesitating to take action, to make a decision, to align with a choice point. We're recognizing where it is that we're resistant to making some of the changes that we know that we need to make in our physical realm in order to break free from what once was and set ourselves up to start creating and moving towards what could be. Either way, this is going to be an emotional realization on where it is that we still have some inner work to do, building ourselves up in self-worth, in self-value, in self-confidence, in order for us to get to the point where we're going to feel like we have what it takes, that we are sure that we are kind of going after the right pursuit, if you will, and that we're feeling confident enough to actually go through with the steps, the path, the plan, the strategy needed in order for us to get from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in this Scorpio energy semi-squaring, creating a little bit of a tension, a little bit of a conflict point with Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of our mental plane, ruler of information, information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves. Mercury is direct in this Sag energy, but will not be clear of the post-retrograde shadow period until January 20th. So we still have some work to do to get our mental plane back on track. And this particular energy is definitely highlighting where it is that, emotionally speaking, we're not on the same page with these big visions, with these big ideas, with these big possibilities that Mercury and Sag wants us to explore. Instead, it's almost like we're losing ourselves in imagination land, in, just thinking about the different options, the different opportunities that we want to pursue. We're losing ourselves in our mental plane, and we're not really anchored into the emotions that we are currently feeling, resisting and hesitating to actually pursue the path, the plan, the strategy to bring these visions to life. Again, there's a blockage there. There are, I'm going to say, some negative narratives that need to kind of be flipped. There's some heavy weight of emotion that we really need to sit in and sort through to figure out why it is that we don't feel well equipped or well prepared at this particular moment, confident enough to actually make the changes that need to be made in our physical realm in the here and now to clear out the debris of the past that's blocking us from actually pursuing these new visions, these new dreams, these new goals.